2022 hit me with one last body blow, but also served me up with an amazing dose of wisdom that I've got to share with you guys today. So today I'm talking about the ABCs of surviving real life storms. I'm talking about the adversity in life that is going to hit you even if you think you see it coming. All right. So first, here's a little bit of backstory. My family and I had planned for months a 10-day vacation in beautiful Bozeman, Montana with my wife's family, in-laws, aunties, grandparents, uncles, the joy of our lives to spend Christmas with our family in snowy Montana. 10 days of Christmas bliss turned into 5 flight cancellations, 3 nights in hotels, including Christmas Day and evening, 10 plus hours on the road driving from Denver to Montana when all flights were canceled throughout the United States, and 4 days sick in bed once we finally got there, only to come home on New Year's Day and have our car broken into and our window smashed. So this incredible sequence of calamities nearly broke us. And I'd be lying to you if I told you there weren't times when my wife, myself, my kids, we all had moments of just breakdown. It was overwhelming, no doubt. It would overwhelm anyone. In fact, we were in the airport for so much longer than we wanted to be, surrounded by people everywhere going through nervous system breakdown. But fortunately, the Azuma clan is resilient. We're a strong bunch. We've been through some hard times before, so we know how to navigate this, even though we still had our moments because we're human too. One really potent package of wisdom was revealed to me as part of this process. And I got to give a big shout out to my coach, Alicia Halpin, for helping me to see this. Because as I was debriefing with her after this sequence of events, she helped me to see that the way I responded was what she called a neuro-resilient process. One that, for me, we're terming the trampoline. Because the way it felt to me, if I zoom back a year ago when we were visiting here in Austin and we all got COVID, there's something about the holidays for the Azuma family. We got COVID, we were stuck inside for almost the entire trip. It was a huge existential breakdown for me. It took me months to recover from that experience. Now, it was chock full of breakthroughs everywhere in that experience from 2021 going into 2022. But this time, with a very similar sequence of events and reasons for me to go into breakdown, didn't hit me so hard. In fact, it felt like months had passed when really it was only a week before I was able to take all of that overwhelm and adversity and ricochet back and propel forward further than I was before all this happened, thus calling it the trampoline. So what Alicia helped me to see is that I was able to, with 3 very specific things, take this experience and instead of letting it suck me downward, I used it to push me back and recoil and shoot forward like a springboard. I want to share that with all of you guys today because every single one of us is going to go through adversity. We're all going to have some sequence of circumstances and scenarios that cause us to go into existential breakdown, right? Well, maybe not existential breakdown, but just breakdown nonetheless. We all have a nervous system. We all have lives full of challenge. They're going to knock us for a loop. I broke it down into an acronym that'll be really easy to remember. The ABCs, the ABCs of surviving the real storms of life. So, A, the first A was ask for help. Now, this might seem like a duh, but we all know how much we as humans suck at asking for help. All different kinds of reasons we're ashamed of asking for help. I should be able to figure out by myself. I don't want to burden people with my problems. Whatever the stories we tell ourselves, the moment that I started asking for help, picking up the phone, reaching out to people and actually receiving the help that there was to offer, it helped me to restore center and groundedness to myself. All of a sudden, instead of being steeped in the depth of my problems and having shit stacked on top of shit left and right, I was able to get support, little releases of the pressure from a conversation on the phone, somebody helping us find a rental car, people who were sending us prayers and good thoughts and videos, and even people who were researching other ways for us to get to where we wanted to go. Every little bit of that released enough of the pressure so that I could stay grounded, so that my wife, my kids, we were all able to stay as relaxed and as calm as we possibly could. So asking for help, A, that was the first thing. B, Be decisive. Be decisive. There were moments where we had to make a decision very quickly. There was a lot of information coming in. Nobody really knew what was happening. Flights were changing by the minute, and it was impossible to get in touch with anybody who could help. So there were very critical moments where we had to just make a decision. Hard decisions. Are we going to wait for another flight and hope that we can get out of here tomorrow morning? Or are we going to jump in a car and drive for 10 hours and just make sure we can get to where we want to go? Things that ordinarily you'd want to sit down and deliberate. And in this case, the most helpful thing was to just be decisive and take responsibility for the decision, not to look back, not to wonder what would have happened if we did this. No, be decisive, move forward. It was the quickest way to go from problem to solution. So first we asked for help. Second, we were decisive, be decisive. The third one was probably the most important one for us. Choose action. It was so easy for us to feel bad about our situation. I mean, the kids were devastated. Our family members were devastated, and everyone just wanted us to get to where we were going. Countless flight attendants and desk staff that was just trying to make it happen for us and thousands of other people. And it would have been so easy for us to just stay in this victim story. But the problem with the victim story is it just keeps you mired in the problem. So I had to choose myself away from the problem and into action. What is in my control? What can I actually have an influence over right now, instead of just sticking and getting stuck in what's wrong and what's not working? And what was interesting is there were people everywhere. I was observing myself in this process, and I was observing thousands of people, literally thousands of people stuck in these airports, getting just wrenched in their gut and just getting so neurologically out of whack because they didn't know what else to do. And it was in those moments where my wife and I, we chose action, we were decisive, we got the help that we needed. And even though it still sucked, even though it was still uncomfortable, we were sleeping in airports, nasty hotel rooms, like it was uncomfortable. But the recovery time for us and navigating through all of these different levels of challenge and adversity, we made it back above water faster than we would have had we not had these simple things in place. So I wanted to share this here because number one, ABC, it's easy to remember. Ask for help, be decisive, choose action, regardless of the circumstances, because you're going to have them. Every one of us, I'm going to face it again. I know it. I'm not waiting for it to happen. I just know that when it comes, it's going to happen whether I like it or not. So I'm going to choose and put myself in a position where I can be in control. I can call the shots. I can decide, I can ask for help and reach out, and I can change my circumstances by letting go of what I can't control and focusing on what I can. These basic principles, these are things that apply to everyone, everywhere in your life. And I know that there's men out there listening right now who feel stuck in the circumstances that you have. And chances are that you're feeling overwhelmed. Chances are that you're feeling stuck, that there's things that you haven't gotten around to for years that are bugging you, that are just sitting on top of your shoulders. And all you need to do is use that resistance as a way to pull the energy back and let it ricochet forward. So I'm going to use this as an opportunity to let you guys know that there's a huge opportunity coming up. I'm looking for 20 men who want to step forward, who want to finally say, screw all those things that have gotten in my way, all those obstacles that have kept me small. I'm ready to step in and step up into the inferno. We're relaunching Inferno. It's happening in February 15th. There's a limited amount of space, so I'm looking for 20 of you guys who want to go on this journey, learn how to be resilient, and create the life that you've always wanted for yourself. And if you've learned anything from this message here today, it's that the ABCs, this is just a simple way to take all of that crap that you're going to get served up with in your life and use it as fuel forward instead of something that's going to sink you down. All right, y'all. I hope you enjoyed this message. Make sure you guys check the show notes for a link to get yourself registered for this round of Inferno coming up in February 15th. Go get it. I'll see you in there. Let's go.